Looks like Anthropic is finally back again with a new model release, and this is just truly insane. Allow me to introduce Claude 3.7 Sonnet. It's their most intelligent model to date, and it's a hybrid reasoning model that's producing near instant responses or extended step-by-step thinking. It's one model, but two ways to think. They're also releasing an agentic coding tool called Claude Code, which is something that I'll be making a video on later on today. But Claude 3.7 Sonnet is a significant upgrade over its predecessor. Its extended thinking mode gives the model an additional boost in math, physics, as well as instruction following, coding, and many other tasks. This may be the best model to ever have been created, which is surpassing Claude 3.5 Sonnet by miles on everything. And it surpasses models like Grok 3, you have DeepSeek R1, as well as all the GPTs, O3 Mini, and so many other models. Claude 3.7 Sonnet is particularly strong in coding as well as front-end web development, and this is why I'll be making a video on Claude Coder later on. Just take a look at the performance of this model on the Sway bench. Its record is beating a standard high of 62.3 on this benchmark test, as well as a 70.3 percentage with the custom scaffold. Just to put some perspective, the O1 as well as the O3 barely reached 50%, which is just insane. Now, I can say 100% that this is currently the best coding-based model that has ever been released, and it's something that you can access today. It also has a larger context. The only thing that I would be concerned about is its rate limits. What we're going to do now is assess this model on different prompts, mostly focusing on coding and reasoning tasks. We're going to first start off by having it build out a simple web page using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then we're going to have it basically generate something based off of the requirements I give it. We're going to first start off small. We're going to go ahead and send off this prompt to create a simple web page to track my fitness goals and workouts, make it modern and sleek. And the great thing is that with Claude, it has an artifacts feature within its chatbots, so you can see and visualize what is happening live. You can see that you can now select the Claude 3.7 model for free, and this is something that you can access completely for free right now with Claude in its AI chatbot. Something that you'll notice right away is that this model is doing such a great job in terms of its context length. If you were to compare the response that you would get with Claude 3.5 Sonnet, it would have ended a long time ago. But in this case, you can see that it is still continuously working on generating it. And there we go. We now have our app fully working. You can see that this is a fitness tracking app that generated the goals, the workouts, as well as the stats. And guys, like they said in their blog post, this is a reasoning model with a better context length in comparison to its previous models. So it will be particularly strong in terms of its coding output because it will be able to provide larger code snippets, and the model will be able to reason with what works better in a longer context format. So that's why it will be perfect for front-end development, and it's something that will assist you in coding really well, especially with its reasoning model. So let's go give this a pass. Next up, we're going to ask it this reasoning prompt. Before we get started, I just want to mention that you should definitely go ahead and subscribe to the World of AI newsletter. I'm constantly posting different newsletters on a weekly basis, so this is where you can easily get up-to-date knowledge about what is happening in the AI space. So definitely go ahead and subscribe, as this is completely for free. What this prompt states is that a room has 3 light bulbs, and outside the room are 3 switches, each controlling 1 bulb. You can only enter the room once. How do you determine which switch controls which bulb? It's a logical reasoning prompt and a deductive thinking prompt that also focuses on how well the model is able to strategize, plan, and deduce outcomes. And essentially, it did get the answer right, where it provided me 3 answers, but within the third answer, it provided me a subset of 3 different scenarios. First is that you turn on switch 1 for several minutes and then turn it off. Then you turn on switch 2 and leave it on. Enter the room for the third scenario and check the bulbs with these 3 different scenarios. The bulb that is on is controlled by switch 2. The bulb that is off but warm to the touch is controlled by switch 1. And the bulb that is off and cool to the touch is controlled by switch 3. So this was actually really correct, and it was able to properly critically think and strategize the development of this answer. It was also able to eliminate any sort of deductions, and it will also get you the right answer. So this is definitely deemed a pass. Next up, we're going to have it create an SVG representation of a butterfly with symmetrical wings and simple styling. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to assess how well this model is in terms of generating SVG code. By the way, it has succeeded with this prompt. It was able to symmetrically generate the butterfly. And we're trying to see how well this model is in terms of mastering SVG code, how well it is in terms of transformations, as well as scalings. And right away, as we saw, it was able to do this quite quickly. So this is definitely deemed a pass, which is just impressive. Next up, I'm assessing this model in terms of implementing a function that finds the longest palindromic sequence in a given string, and I'm telling it to optimize using dynamic programming. And I was able to just simply send in this prompt, and it was able to rapidly send over the script. Overall, this prompt is assessing how well the model is in terms of its algorithmic thinking as well as its optimization skills. It's by focusing on the dynamic programming aspect, which it does, but not only does it generate the script for this, it also focuses on how well it is able to optimize for any sort of implementation overlapping subproblems. It also uses the bottom-up approach, which you see over here, which is the O and then isolating n and then have it squared. It uses the 2D BP table. This is to store the solution to a subproblem. It uses string manipulation and recursive free thinking. And overall, it went over and beyond based off the prompt that I sent in. So I would deem this a pass. Next up, I'm going to have it create a responsive image gallery using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but I'm trying to focus on the front-end capabilities of this model, as well as having it focus on CSS grid and flexbox. I'm going to have it display the grid of images. I also said when you click on it, it opens a lightbox in full screen view, and then the users can also scroll through the images if they'd like. But I want to see, and okay, never mind. It was able to do it right away. If I have to click on this, and you can see this. That is just impressive. I'm speechless right now because it was able to do it faster than I expected. But overall, it was able to generate this based off of what I had required fully, and it was able to do this quite quickly, as you saw. You can also see that it focused on adding the lightbox. Whenever you click it, you can see that it pans out the background when you're on full screen mode, and then you can obviously click through the next image as you're going through it, all the different images in the gallery. So this is definitely deemed a pass, which was just super impressive. Next up, I'm going to have it create a simple AI chatbot using vanilla JavaScript. Now, this chatbot should use user input, check for predefined responses, and provide appropriate reply. And if the input is not recognized, it should return a default message. For this prompt, I'm going to need to head over to Klein to help me execute this prompt. I sent in the request within Klein, and I have been using the Claude 3.7 Sonnet API through OpenRouter. Just a side note, Klein just added Claude 3.7 Sonnet onto their API list where you can access it through Anthropic as a provider. So if you want to directly access it, you can now do it without any sort of rate limit. Now, it looks like it has finished generating the basic chatbot for us, and we're going to go ahead and open it up within a couple seconds. So let's open this up. We have this index HTML file, and this is our chatbot. We can now talk to it, and we'll get responses back from it, which is just insane. And now you can go ahead and link it up with the AI model to get AI generated responses. But you can see that I was able to quickly generate this within a couple of minutes, which is just insane. And this is a model that will rapidly expedite any sort of software development, because this is truly one of the best coding-based models that's out there. So this last test is definitely deemed a pass. And based off of my simple interaction with this model, I can clearly tell you that this is the best coding-based model that's out there. It might be a little pricey, but this is something that I definitely recommend that you explore. I'm going to be making a video on Claude Code soon, so definitely take a look at this. But with that thought, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll leave all the links in the description below so that you can easily get started with it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the newsletter, follow me on the Patreons, follow me on Twitter, and lastly, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notification bell, like this video, and please take a look at our previous videos because there's a lot of content that you will truly benefit from. But with that thought, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Spread positivity, and I'll see you guys fairly shortly. Peace out, fellas.